Hello, Jamboree here with another edition of Hellmation. For those of you who don't know what this show is, it's basically a kind of documentary slash blog that focuses on the making of my student short film, Mel and Devil's Deal, which is about an animator who makes a bargain with the devil, and the consequences that all the drawings in his studio come to life. I'm joined with Dark Static.
Hello.
He's a composer that's often worked with me before in other kinds of projects, and what we're trying to achieve with the music for this film is something genuinely scary. We've been listening to music from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Aphex Twin, what's we listening to?
Music from The Shining.
Shining,
and yeah, so kind of like a lot of ambient music. Sort of a lot of terrifying noises from Texas Chainsaw Massacre soundtrack for inspiration. Yeah, so that's kind of the way it's headed, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. What we've played around with really is distortions, statics, heartbeats, stuff like that. I mean, like, let's actually talk about our own backgrounds in music, because there's probably people thinking like, oh, who they're putting these people in charge of the music, who are they? It's like, okay. So, basically I have a brief little background in music. I've sometimes played around with, I have a keyboard back home and I often experiment on it. I've had piano lessons from my neighbour before. I'm not exactly, 100% like, educated about music. I don't know everything. I'm not much of a performer. I'm more of an artist, more experimental, that kind of thing. It's not a huge part of my life, I would say. But for this, I think my whole contribution is just coming up with weird noises. I come through with some weird, creepy noises in the background, but my job mainly in this is to direct Glenn and say what I'd like to do. So would you like to talk about your background in music?
Yeah. I've been a musician since I was 15, and I played guitar. That was my first instrument. But throughout the years I've got into a lot of electronic music and making electronic music, and also teaching people how to make electronic music. And that's what I do down here at Get Sorted. So, yeah, basically James has been telling me what ideas he wants for the film and how he wants the soundtrack to go, and then I've been trying some different ideas and different techniques out, and you know, seeing what he thinks is going to fit best with the animation. So it's been really fun, like collaborating on the music. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's been great.
We've got a long way to go though. We've got so much stuff to do. So yeah. What we're aiming for really is to kind of develop a sense of fear in the audience, because I'm really fascinated with scary music, and to me the scariest soundtracks are from The Shining and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think they're underrated scores, I would have to say. I mean, like, a lot of horror movies, the things that make them so scary is the music. I mean, like Rose's Baby. We've seen Rose's Baby.
Yeah.
That scene where you see the baby. You don't see the baby. The scene where Rosemary sees her baby for the first time. All she goes is like, his eyes, what have you done with his eyes? All you hear is this terrifying, like, da-na! In the background. You're like, it's horrible. It looks horrible. And it's like, I don't think people actually talk about that often, the music for that scene, how much that really elevates that scene, how much it really helps it. At the same time, we need to focus on timing. Timing's an important thing, so I'm going to be bringing my animatic at some point. I'm going to go through animatic and make sure we can get some music that progresses and that highlights a certain image that comes on screen, like specifically when the devil flies in, or when you notice the devil in the background. It's like a kind of sound. But yeah, So I'd like to ask you something, actually, out of curiosity. Where did the name Dark Static come from?
Well, I don't know, really. To be honest, that was something that I was thinking of some names because I've been making some music at home, and I was talking about my friends. And I actually went out, did a session in a school for children with special needs, and we were thinking of a band name for them. And they were shouting out some really, really good, really brilliant band names, actually, some of the best I've ever heard. And one of them was White Static, and I thought, that's great. And then I come back and I was telling one of the other tutors here, I said, these kids come out with the best band names ever. He said, White Static. And he says, why don't you call your stuff Dark Static? And I thought, yeah, that's good. So I just took it from there, really. I just borrowed it. So really, my friend come up with it. And the kids at the special needs school, really. They had a massive part in it. So yeah, that's where that came from.
Credit due to them.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It wouldn't have happened without them, so yeah. So
what kind of things would you hope to achieve? Especially for this project, what would you like to achieve in the future, really?
Well, I'm really enjoying making this kind of soundtrack music as well, and ambient stuff and scary stuff, because that's the sort of thing I do in my own music as well. For the future, really, you know, I'd just like to keep working on projects with people and also making music at home and putting that out, releasing it myself, and you know. Maybe possibly looking for a label in the future when I can get some of my stuff recorded properly. So,
is there any way for the audience watching this video right now for them to like find your music online somewhere?
Yeah, I've got a Bandcamp, I think, well, I set up quite a while ago. So if you put Dark Static in, it should come up on there. And also, I'm trying to remember what else I've set up. I'm sure I've got have I got a YouTube channel? No, I don't think I have. I've got a Bandcamp, that's for sure. And you can buy the music off there or listen to it for free. And there's a few tracks up there. They're quite old now.
So what kind of stuff do you produce?
Ambient. Some of it's a bit post-rock sort of orientated with guitars and stuff like that. It's quite mellow. Usually quite dark, and usually building up into something, into like a load of noise.
Mm. Do you have any creative influences on your music?
Yeah, I really like bands like Sigur Rós and Mogwai and Air and Aphex Twin, all sorts of stuff really. Yeah, I've got loads of influences. But yeah, that sort of stuff is a bit more Sigur Rós, a bit more Mogwai sort of bass really. Yeah, they're the main sort of influences on that, I think.
Mm. So yeah, that's how well the music's pretty much going right now. So yeah, this will take a while, of course, but we have some time to work on animation's only just started recently, so it's going to take a long time, but that gives us a chance to kind of play around with things, kind of perfect things. We're going to get people to come in to the studio here, which is a recording studio in Rotherham. We're going to give people a chance to come in, have a listen, and if they feel as if something doesn't sound right, we'll fix it, we can improve. We've got all this time now to make something that sounds really good. So that, like, I'd love to, like, release this almost like as a free album available for people to listen to, and I'd like them to kind of listen back to it and feel as if it's just as entertaining as the actual film.
Mm.
That'll be really good to say that like it works on its own.
Yeah,
that's how effective I would like this music to be, pretty much. But yeah, so there will be future episodes of Hellmation coming out soon. I'm still trying to plan out, trying to get some production documenting going off with a friend's help around at some point. So yeah, lots of different things to talk about soon. And thank you for joining me.
No problem.
In this episode
Thanks very much.
Dark Static.
Cheers.
See you guys.